people of the internet. First of all, thank you for the new subscribers. It seems since having the Landy on the channel, people seem to be more interested. Even viewer count went up, which is still relatively small for other channels, but for us, it's pretty good. With that in mind, there is more work to do. We're now in September, the end of September, sorry, which means winter's going to be kicking in soon, and I've noticed a big drop in temperature, hence why I've got this on. Which means we also need to winterize and disable camping mode on the Landy. Last weekend we went camping in it and it absolutely teamed it down, so she's been in the workshop for the whole week with the tent up to basically just dry it all off. So that needs to come off today. There's quite a few jobs ready for winter. We noticed the secondary battery, which was unknown anyway, it was an old battery, is really not holding any charge. So the diesel heater, when I want to flick it on before we go out, just literally, after you do it for twice, and then that's it, 2 days. Even when I've been running it on the split charger, the battery's at it. But I have got a new battery anyway, sitting in the back. Walk around here. Obviously the heater is in there. Let's go around to this side and wonder if it's going to do it. Hey Wills, obviously checking out the workings. Now I haven't touched this all week, so I'm hoping everything's okay. Right, so that's fan on. Now you can probably barely hear it. It's not going to do it now, is it? Let's go around the other side. There you go. Now what tends to happen is if you leave it on long enough, it will basically just start going. And so if you're at a set of traffic lights and you've got that on, even at, there you go. It's possessed. Yeah, let's turn that off. Oh, get out. Oh, that's not nice. So obviously that's gonna need changing. To the fan, Gregor has graciously donated a Series 3 fan, which we have tested and seems working fine, so I'll just give it a lick of paint. It is actually the right one anyway, and it does work, so this is obviously going to be taken over, but you're not really going to see it because of the lick of paint, but yeah, that'll look nice, won't it? And as I mentioned before, we've got no arch liners or anything, so the covers, and thankfully again Greg has donated some because he had ordered them wrong, I believe, so I've got some brand new ones to go in. All I need to do is order him the correct ones for his, so that's the other job, to winterize the truck. So let's get to it. I changed was the runner on the seal for here, but the top one I think is broken. It seems to, it wants to bend out on itself, but it feels like let me get the in focus. The top one's broken, as you can see. It's not like solid. It's as if it's the metal, because it's just a U-shaped piece of metal, has split. So now I didn't change the bottom one because, well, hashtag rusty screws. And to be honest, it's not really doing any harm not changing that. So I have got the bottom piece, because I bought it as a complete set. Where is it? It's over here. So another job, part of the wintering. Yeah, you see it's solid. So I think what's happened is that has the metal in the middle, because obviously the U has actually broken somehow. Because these aren't the plastic type, which my other window's got. They are metal, which arguably are crapper. So I think what I'm going to have to do for the time being is cut this one down to size and then just fit this one, because literally it was horrible weather. I mean, this is a bottom one, you can see, because it's got that opening, but it doesn't really matter. I was literally driving back in torrential rain and the window fell in, so that's not great really, considering they're not even a month old, but you know what they're going to say, it's, you don't fit in there or something like that. So all we'll do is we'll just cut this one down to size, which is no hardship. They were cheap anyway, so we'll cut that down to size, and that should sort that problem. You can see it's already doing it. I've pushed that back. It's already doing it. See, it's pushed. Whenever you close it, it's got to be. I'm gonna have to take it off and just have a look. Sorry, I will get it into the camera. Yeah, you see, that's not supposed to do that, because the other one, I can get my thumb on it, it's not going to move, but that one does. So yeah, that's another job for the winterization of the little Landy. Apart from that's about it. Like I say, I have got a fuse box. A fuse box? Like I say, I have got a oil filter for it as well. I did drop the oil a few months ago, but I didn't have an oil filter, so that's obviously going to need to be done, and I've got enough oil to do it anyway. So let's get on, shall we? What we'll do is we'll tackle the simpler job first, and that will be the heater fan. So, obviously, those who don't know, which most of you probably do, the heater is there, and it looks like it's held on with a couple of bolts. They've got those captive bolts or captive threads that are mounted to actually the fan body itself. So let's go in the cab and take a look. So it'll be the outermost. Right, okay, so there's 3 of them there. That should be pretty easy, like about 10 mils. Let's go get them now. In. So now need to refit that. There we go. Another one. Okay, screw that. Right, and we'll need to put the pipe that feeds to from the right. We just need to obviously put the pipe that goes from this into the fan. So obviously get the hot air, the heating element. Right, so all we need to do is put the pipe links between the two, and obviously make sure I've got these wires the right way around, because if they're the wrong way around, then on one it's going to be going 2 speed, and 2 speed is going to be going 1. Let's get that on. And there she blows, that's what I was on about. So that goes on the inside of there to presume stop water ingress and just protect the fan a bit more, but yeah, that doesn't feel particularly great. Yes, obviously we put that on recently. So what we need to do is take that off. It's on the other side. Just 2 wires, thankfully. Take this one off. He says, there we go. Oh, right, so that's off. Yeah, it's definitely past its best, isn't it? It's a different one to. Right, okay, so you guys who know a bit more about these things than I do, the resistor pack for the 2 stages on the inside of this. So was this an earlier type or was this a later type? Because the new one, I believe, it's on the outside, or this replacement. Yeah, it's on the outside. So maybe did they put it in there to keep it cool? Probably. Or keep it away from the water. More chance of staying away from water inside, isn't it? The 2-stage works okay, so I'm inclined, before I throw this, is to undo those, or no, let's undo, drill out those 2 rivets and actually take them off. Or take that off, because that works okay, and it can go in the spares that I'll forget I've got, and then end up buying one when it does break. But what we do need to keep and take off is those, because they, the ones on it, are knackered, and these ones aren't. So we definitely take them off. So let's get a scrogiver and just we'll prise them off. Let's see if these will come off easily. They've not been on long. You can tell because they're nice and shiny. There we go. That's one. Two. Three. I'll stick that over there for a moment. And we've got the replacement, which they're going to be rusted in. A pair of mole grips. Okay, that's one. That one probably didn't need more grips. I know, call me heathen. Right. These are probably going to take a bit more of a persuasion to come off. Being older. Ah, there we go. Ooh, sparkies. Okay, and that one. Now this one's still got a broken bolt in it. And we get that to bend off. There we go. That's it. There we go. Right, that needs bending back, don't it? It's a bit bent. Give it a Tommy tap. There we go. And there we go it. So, just put these little puppies back on. And then rinse and repeat. Yeah, could do with a bit of paint there, isn't it? And probably a bit across the bottom. It's a bit better, don't it? And at least we know this puppy works. So let's go refit it. Back over we go. Right, so she's like that. So I think, because that's actually made out of soft material, I'll be able to just stuff it in. So I'll probably mount this first and then go and put that on. Right, so she's in. There's no point in recording that because it's just a repeat of what I've already done. Cool. So can we stuff this? I've got to do it from underneath. I've got to stuff it in. It's only small and soft, isn't it? There's a joke there, isn't they? Right. Oh, near enough on that top one up straight away. Right, it's a bit hard with one hand. Let me just use both hands. In. So now, just need to refit that. There we go. Another one. Okay, let's screw that. Right, and we'll need to put the pipe that feeds to the right. We just need to obviously put the pipe that goes from this into the fan. So obviously get the hot air, the heating element. Right, so all we need to do is put the pipe links between the two, and obviously make sure I've got these wires the right way around, because if they're the wrong way around, then on one it's going to be going 2 speed, and 2 speed is going to be going 1. Let's get that on. So did we get the wires the right way round? Here's the question. Ignition's on. That's, you can hear it. Oh, beauty. Oh, all the air's at the bottom, so hot. That's defrost. Okay, so it fluffs its way to defrost, because literally, I didn't know that, all that does is close a vent. I feel a bit. I mean, to be honest, if I close that, let's just see. If I put my hand over that. Yeah, I can feel some. So it might be worth me putting something over the vent. I mean, that side is certainly doing it, because the other side, sorry, because I've got a cobweb that's probably, even though it's on 4K, you probably can't make it out, but either way, there's a cobweb that's going billy-o, so, well, that's that job done then, innit? Time to enjoy a nice coffee before we move on to something else. Do is figure out which one's which. I think this one is the driver's side, because it's got the cutout for the steering box. So let's get the torch and we'll place the camera face up and watch me be like an ape trying to play the drums and figure this out. Everybody starts the camera. That's relatively easy. There's some holes there where that's partly spacing out, and you can see how it goes. And then up there, behind it, is some holes. Let's just drop it down. There's some holes. Can you see them? Those are for where the bracket's supposed to be riveted to. So I think what I'm going to have to do is get it bolted at the bottom and see how it kind of fits. I believe this hole here is supposed to go to some hole that was probably originally around here. That's, oh, is that it? That could be it, but why is it not circular? Unless it's got some crap in it. And then we can make the top section. But I have noticed there is, I can't actually get it to, if I put the camera down, there's, I don't know whether you can see that, there's a bolt hanging out, so when I try and get that close, it's actually pivoting on it, which isn't too much of an issue, because that's getting spaced out anyway, like that. So I think if we mount the bottom with the holes that are already there, which I believe I just put some tape over when I first got the truck, at least then we can get it in a semi-correct position, and then we can do that top piece that you can see where it used to be. All there. And then we'd have to take it back off. Once I bent the piece to about the right shape, take it off, measure do the holes for the top, and then do the holes for the bottom, and job done. And then rinse and repeat for the side. Now obviously there's one to go over the actual steering box. As you can see, there's a nice lovely drip there. Now it has had a rebuilt steering box, but I think the casing's cracked because there's a little bit of aldehyde or liquid metal, chemical metal, whichever you want to call it, on the bottom of it. So what I really should do is drain it, see where that crack is, and if I can sort of repair it properly so it's oil tight. But I'd begrudge mucking about with it because it's been rebuilt. Anyway, let's get some bolts for the inside the footwell, but let's first have a look at what we're dealing with. See what stuff we've got. Something like this, because it's quite long, I can then space it out. Maybe 3 or 4? Take 4. Made for the job. Absolutely perfect. These are going to make it long enough that I can set the grit. Obviously they will have washers and stuff on the back. Let's have a look from underneath. Oh, beauty. Can you see that? Oh, there we go. So, means we can space it. I might not have to cut that thread down that's sitting there because I'm spacing them out enough. I might have to touch it. So I think we'll put some washers. They have to be pretty big penny washers, I believe. So needs to be pretty big penny washers for that. There's only 3, so one of them's not going to be needed, is it now? Right. Push that back. I've got those penny washers. Yeah, something a bit smaller. That's more inclined to be a bit better. Well, there you go. Look at that. Made foot job. Right, so we only need 3 for now for the bottom. So think 2, 2 and 3. 1, 3 of those. That's if these are the right type. Let's have a look. Put this down. Oh, they are. Brilliant. So, let me get this fitted on without dropping stuff. I don't need another one of them bolts, do I? 3, job done. Okay, so, not all the washers were the same. The hole in them was smaller, so I've had to put them big ones on. So change it back in a bit. Right, so that's how it goes, but obviously it needs to be spaced. Then you can see where part of the bracket used to be. Now I'm just thinking, because I know this thing's got to come off and on quite often to clean it out, why don't we just make a strap, a metal strap that's bent and use, say, that middle hole. It's non-structural and I don't see why that would cause a problem, as long as it's mounted up enough like that. So it's, do you see what I mean? Just put a strap in between, can rivet it and then put a riv nut, rivet it at the top and put a riv nut at the bottom maybe, and then we just space out the bottom. And that should do the job for that, really. I don't see why it needs to be anything special, because again, I'd want to take it off so we can clean it. I think that's what I'll do now, and then if that's no good, then we'll have to think of another solution. But the main thing is making sure there's space here for the shite just to flow out, which should be as simple as I could just loosen those, and it's probably better if I pack out the thread so it drops down. So I've got something doesn't need to be anything special. As long as something doesn't rust up too quickly, we should be good. I think probably if we pack that out a little bit first, then I can make this strap that goes between those two, and we would be good to go. I mean, it's already got a hole. I reckon the rivet nut will go in that. And that's held up then. I could actually leave not all of them if need be, but okay. Okay, so not all the washers were the same. The hole in them was smaller, so I've had to put them big ones on. So change it back in a bit. Right, so that's how it goes, but obviously it needs to be spaced. Then you can see where part of the bracket used to be. Now I'm just thinking, because I know this thing's got to come off and on quite often to clean it out, why don't we just make a strap, a metal strap that's bent and use, say, that middle hole. It's non-structural and I don't see why that would cause a problem, as long as it's mounted up enough like that. So it's, do you see what I mean? Just put a strap in between, can rivet it and then put a rivet nut, rivet at the top and put a rivet nut at the bottom maybe, and then we just space out the bottom. And that should do the job for that, really. I don't see why it needs to be anything special, because again, I'd want to take it off so we can clean it. I think that's what I'll do now, and then if that's no good, then we'll have to think of another solution. But the main thing is making sure there's space here for the shite just to flow out, which should be as simple as I could just loosen those, and it's probably better if I pack out the thread so it drops down. So I've got something, it doesn't need to be anything special, as long as something doesn't rust up too quickly, we should be good. I think probably if we pack that out a little bit first, then I can make this strap that goes between those two, and we would be good to go. I mean, it's already got a hole. I reckon the rivet nut will go in that. And that's held up then. I could actually leave not all of them if need be, but okay. So I've just put an M6 rivet nut on there. We've spaced out the bottom with some packers, so all I've got to do is put those on. We can bolt that up and then we can make the strap that's going to go from, I think, from that centre hole for now. It might be just as easy to do the others, but if you notice, those holes are bigger and I haven't got any M8 rivet nuts, so I'm gonna have to, have I done this the right way around? I'm just looking at this thinking, have I done it the right way around? Yes I have, because it goes like, yes I have done it the right way around because it goes that way. I was envisaged that was going to be up against the body. Might have to use a nut and bolt if I'm going to do all of them, but it's literally not doing anything, so we'll get it on, let's see. I revisited it and spaced it out more, so as you can see, I can get, put the light over it a bit more, my fingers will go right underneath it, far better. So this is the thickness of my finger, so if it's any more mud than that, then I'm just going to have to deal with it, but I wanted to make them so they're easy to take off. So the next thing, like I said before, as we put the rivet nut in the centre, I'm thinking a strap from the centre hole to the centre hole, because it's not doing anything else. So it's just literally to hold it. To cut some metal, drill a hole for the M6, that middle one, and then mark it, bend it, mark it up, and job done. I've made a strap so I can hold it up there, and I'm thinking if I make that mount, at least then it's done properly. I've made a strap so I can hold it up there, and I'm thinking if I make that mount, at least then it's done properly. So, rivet ready. Got to hold the panel up from the bottom, rivet it on, and that's that side pretty much done, apart from the cover plate for the steering box, which I don't want to put it on because you're getting forever taking it off, so I might not put that one on, but we still have got the other side to sort. So let's get the riveter out. Bit overkill this one, but it'll do the job. I'll make sure it's definitely on that panel. There it is. Now, let's put that glove over the top because this has a tendency to shoot the tail out. I wonder where they are, like so. Right. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, beauty! Oh, brilliant. Okay, I guess the top isn't exactly perfect, but beauty. And at least from here, even though I'm not a concourse man, clearly, at least the rivet makes it look semi-correct. So obviously we've got this side to do. Let me just throw away the rivet tails. I've got PTSD with these. I've had so many punctures when I was younger because I didn't give a damn that these things were flying everywhere. And like I said before, that rivet gun has a tendency to shoot them off here, there and everywhere. So I will put a lick of paint on it, but I'm chuffed with that. Very chuffed with it. And obviously it's got to be bolted up stronger, really. I'm well chuffed with that. Obviously it's got to be bolted up. Really, it should have the steering box one on, but it's not going to go anywhere anyway. I wouldn't have thought. So yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. I think there's other panels looser than that, and she's not definitely. She's not going anywhere. Obviously, tighten these up. Tighten this 10mm up at the top, and that's good to go. And we can move on to the other side. You can see I've added another rivet to it, so this thing ain't moving anywhere. So she's nice and secure. Needs a little bit more tighten up on this top one, but apart from that, she's good. I'm chuffed with that. Now it's got to repeat on the other side. So, rinse and repeat again. Before we've got it mounted at the bottom, and there's a nice more than depth of my fingers. She just needs to be push it up. She needs to be mounted up there. Now that hole hasn't actually rotted out, so we can bolt that, even though there is a little crack I see. But we can bolt that one up, and that will help. And then I can just move to these top ones. So it's riveted, and you can see she's bolted up now nicely. And as I said before, there's a big gap. Can't really tell without the torch on. Let's just bring the torch back down wherever it is. Right. Yeah, I pretty much get my hand underneath, so that should stop any crap from getting clogged and knackering the footwell. So that's those three jobs. Obviously I've not put the pedal box one on, not pedal box, steering box one, as I said before. But what we do need to do is probably the last job is that it keeps falling out. Now, as I said before, I do have one from the kit on the shelf, which is just going to need cutting down because this is actually the bottom one. So I'll fit this. If this does the same thing, then I'm just going to replace the whole door top because it's about knackered anyway, and the old door really needs doing because the frame's going on it. What I'll probably do is take the door top off to do this job. But if I go show you the door, I know you can buy the frame rebuild kits, but once you've spent that money trying to get those on, it's got a hole there. It's got a hole there, and it's already been replaced. It's got a dent on the skin, so that's just, I'd probably, if it doesn't work, we'll just replace it all. Be easier, won't it? But I think first I'll take the door top off. Okay. Cool, that's tight. To prise that up, I think. That's on the bench, obviously you can see the new screws, but clearly that's broken. It shouldn't be as flexible as that. It should be stiff. So it's obviously the metal's fatigued or something, which is a bit rubbish because these were new. Shocking quality, absolutely shocking. Anyway, let's bend it all back and you can, yeah, crap, absolutely shocking. Rubbish. Get these out. Yeah, look at that. So, trying to think how long these have been on. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, hit that. Absolute toffee. That's shocking. So, like I said before, this is the bottom, which means it's got a hold for the lock strap. But that's not a problem, that doesn't really bother me. For the time being, stop the flipping window from falling out. Sorry about the tumble drying. We'll just go with it. So I'm going to cut it down and drill the holes and put it on the glass, slide it in, screw it on, and hope for the best that this doesn't. It started to break all the way down. Just crap. I don't know what they're made out of. I'd expect them to be. Yeah, they're made out of metal. Flipping monkey metal. That's what they're made out of. Look, absolute rubbish. Anyway, we'll measure it and put it on. Not much to show. We've cut it down. They are just shocking quality, as I've said. So cut it down. What I need to do is take that screw out and get the glass in, and then hopefully with it closed I should be able to still screw that one up, keep that one screwed in. So take that one out and put the glass in. So that instantly feels better. Obviously gravity is pushing down on the new seal, but we'll see how long that one lasts. Still not convinced about the quality, but that's what happens with classic car parts these days. Not made as good as it used to be. But she's in anyway. So what we can do is remount it, and that should have her done for the winter. Dropping everything. There we go. Oh, that's a tight. Oh. So that is now much better. It feels tighter. How long that seal lasts for is anyone's guess. But if it keeps a bit of the water out, I'll be more than happy. There we go. Right guys, well that's it for winterising the little Land Rover. Until the throes of winter kick in, I won't know whether it needs anything else. But obviously I do need to paint those arch liners, the splash guards, and obviously keep a check when we do go green laning that nothing goes down behind the back of it. But apart from that, that's it. I mean, it's going to leak, it's a Land Rover at the end of the day, but she's pretty much ready to rock, and like I say, she's in daily use anyway. Obviously, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and everything else, and I shall see you in the next one. See ya.